Hello Sagittarius, how are you? Welcome to your August 2016 love and general readings. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I am using a new deck. It's called the Golden Universal Tarot deck. It's quite lovely. I hope you enjoy it, okay? So let's move forward to a love reading for August 2016. Go. Sagittarius. Wow. Very colorful reading, that's for sure. You, yourself, in the very, very center of this reading, but I'm not getting an energy of another person, so I'm sensing that maybe this is going to be more about you, okay? I'm getting some really interesting things here. Okay, we have the Devil, but we have the Two of Cups, we have Judgment reverse. There's definitely like a lot of two peoples, right? We have two children, two people, and then we have like three people here and three people here. I love the King of Wands for fire signs, right? When it comes out, because it's such a strong force. And I think you are so much in your element, and yet I do think there is some level of toxicity happening in your love life right now. You might be finding yourself drawn into something that is maybe reaching an unhealthy level. A lot of times for me, the Devil can mean so many different things, as can most of the cards. But for me, the Devil is... It feels so good, right? It's so tempting, and the relationship is so great. So especially for some of you who are just maybe starting to date, it might be very exciting. The sex might be amazing, and you talk all the time, but there might be developing some level of like unhealthiness, whether it's the amount of time you're spending together, whether it's the amount of energy this other person requires from you, okay, stealing that energy away from you. Or you could be feeling tied down or locked into a situation when you don't really feel ready. Okay, and Sagittarians, we all love to be in love, whether you're a Sagittarius or a Cancer or an Aquarius or whatever. We all love to be in love. But Sagittarians by nature, and I'm overgeneralizing here, and I understand that, but they tend to be difficult in the commitment realm because they're just so open and excited and ready for the next step, ready for the next thing, that there's like a fear of missing out, so that being in a relationship could make them feel like they are in fact missing out. And I do sense that, the Six of Cups reverse, I have no idea why these words are entering my mind, but this little situation in which you find yourself, I don't feel like it's like a sweet and innocent place, right? Like this might be someone that don't know, kind of has their hooks in you a little bit. I think you might really, really like them, or you might really, really love them even, depending on the stage of the relationship. And if it is your partner from years gone by, right? There's just a little bit of sourness to the beauty of the relationship. I don't see that lasting forever. It might be just a phase for some of you who are in, long-standing relationship. It's not going to last forever. Just kind of maybe something, or a little bit of a twinge that you're getting now, that it's just, it does require a little bit too much from you. And I think, actually, I'm going to come here because it's interesting that the king has his back turned to the sun, toward the darkness, right? Like, I think you are sort of ignoring some of your natural inclinations. You, like I said, finding yourself in a relationship when you almost didn't even expect to be. Finding yourself in love and in a committed thing when you didn't expect to be. And not that you're shunning away the positivity and the joy in your life by any stretch of the imagination, but that you are giving more of yourself to someone else, to a situation, than I think feels natural, okay? Because normally I would like to see the King of Wands looking toward the sun, looking toward joy, looking toward happiness, face always in the sunshine, face always looking for, an excuse to be outside and go and do things and have fun. And even I feel like there might be some shirking of responsibilities, okay? Shirking, setting aside or shunning, ignoring, tossing out, throwing away responsibilities that you have, whether it's responsibilities to a family member or responsibilities to some form of work. It's all because your back is turned. It's all because your back is turned. And some of you, okay, on kind of a flip side, all right, and I'm going to kind of turn this story around. Some of you might be feeling, or in the past have always viewed relationships as being this way. Not necessarily finding yourself in this situation, but viewing relationships like this. Okay, something that you've always sort of run away from, you've always ignored, or didn't want to participate in. And that there is a little bit of self-sabotage going on, where when maybe a relationship was forming, that you maybe have put the kibosh on it, or decided to leave, or disappear, or maybe you decided to not take that responsibility by the horns and drive it home, right? So again, I'm sort of flipping it around. You have viewed relationships as being something that would distract or detract from the good things in life, the luxurious things, the sunshine, the fun, the adventure, okay? But, okay, so I've got kind of two scenarios going on here. I hope one relates to you in some way. Now, the positive spin on this, the positive ending to all of this, is that I'm wondering if you aren't starting to let go of that viewpoint, all right? If you are the one that finds yourself in a relationship that is requiring a lot from you, you might stop viewing it as being a drain on your energy source, okay? You might start viewing it as, okay, this is what I need to do for even myself to be happy. I love this person, I care for them very much. Or the relationship might start to develop into something more real if you're just kind of in the starting stages, the sex haze, the honeymoon phase, whatever you call it. And the relationship starts taking on a more real life approach, right? Okay, well, now we gotta make sure we pay our bills. Maybe let's go buy a house. Maybe let's set up our retirement account. You know, the more realistic aspects of life together, something that you have viewed as something very scary and something very just not fun in general. I think you are in the process of starting to let go. Okay? And if you've always viewed relationship as this more tempting, or maybe even you've always only done the first part of the relationships because it's more exciting, and then you maybe, like I said, you self-sabotage a little bit, and you leave before it develops into something real. I'm getting so many messages here, I can't even believe it. Speaking to so many people in so many different ways. And that devil is so powerful, right? Whenever he comes out, it's just so much of a darker card. The coloring of it is so dark that it's like, even though you are the one in the center, it's just like everything is revolving around this. Even though we have the sunshine, which is almost like the complete opposite. And I say, you know, not everything's black and white, but it kind of is like you have the dark and the light here, and you're sort of stuck somewhere in between. And somehow you're leaning toward the tempting side. You're leaning toward the things that are sexy and alluring, and the things that, you know, it's very hedonistic, you know, the pleasures in life. And maybe that's something you've always done in the past, but I'm seeing a break in the pattern with that Four of Coins reverse. I'm seeing ideas being let go, and I'm seeing this situation turning into this situation, which is such a beautiful place to be. You know, I see this as two people coming to terms, two people talking about the way they feel, talking about what they see in life. Now, you may be in a place where the universe deems, okay, that you aren't ready to see the reasons why. Okay, you might be changing a little bit. You might be your views and your standpoints and how you feel about love and life may be changing. You might not understand why, and you might not even fully embrace it at this point in time. There are reasons for everything, and the angels are saying, I will reveal it to you, but now is not the time. Okay, so let me pull out some more. Okay, let me just do 3 quick shuffles. It's interesting how beautiful, you know, this kind of little 3 cards are here, the 3 connected cards, about sharing and generosity and giving. But just make sure that, you know, if you find yourself in a situation where you are the one giving more, okay, just be cognizant of that, be aware of that. But also don't think of it as because you're giving your time and energy and attention to one person that you are going to just totally be, that it's a bad situation, because that's not the case. It needs to be equal, right? There needs to be equal giving, and there can be equality here with this devil. There can be a relationship here if you want it, if you can work past just the more temptation side of everything. I'm almost getting a sense that like you're judging yourself in some way. Almost getting that you're like looking on to yourself, and you are I don't know, it's like you're looming. Like you're kind of almost like having an out-of-body experience. Like there's your higher self, and then there's your actual self, and some level of like, why are you doing this? Or why are you stuck in this place? Or why do you think of relationships this way? It doesn't make any sense. So there is a little bit of self-judgment going on, I think. Now, with all of this being said, okay, there is an element of being up in the clouds a little bit. And here we have the Seven of Cups, options and emotions. In a dating scenario, it can mean dating multiple people that are good for you, people that are bad for you. It doesn't matter. You're very focused on the good things and the good parts of the relationship, especially the beginning parts of the relationships, because the beginnings are usually a little bit easier, not always, but usually a little bit easier, because there's no commitments and it doesn't get so emotionally messy, right? With that being in reverse, I'm wondering if the temptations and the emotions aren't as important as they used to be. I'm not saying you are going to completely, change your lifestyle by any means. And again, there is this element of things being unknown, even with the Seven of Swords here, things that are unsaid, people keeping secrets from you, you keeping secrets from others. And really just, things aren't as enticing anymore. Things aren't as attractive anymore. You are coming down to reality and not so much living in a fantasy virtual world. I'm getting a conflict here between the King and the Knight of Wands. It's almost as though you have evolved in some way, maybe spiritually, maybe emotionally, but more so I think spiritually. You have evolved to the place of a king, and yet your behaviors in some way are that of a Knight of Wands. And it's an inconsistency. There's a break there between who you are becoming and who you want to be as a man or a woman, and your behavior, allowing yourself to either view relationships as being like this, or being caught in a relationship that requires so much from you. It's almost as though you can't help it, right? But again, there is an element of change here with this Four of Pentacles. You're letting ideas go. The status quo, the norm of how you've always lived your life is starting to dissipate, and it might even make you feel a little bit lost. You don't know where you're headed. You don't know why this is happening, but it's not concrete. It's not solid, and you're just sort of watching all of this happen in front of you, almost as though you aren't even a participant. You may continue to live your life this way, but I don't see it as being a long-standing thing. I'm starting to see a severe lack of satisfaction from this lifestyle, and that there is some craving or some need for this, okay? Like friendship and companionship, and finding someone that you can see eye to eye with, and someone that makes you laugh, someone that makes you happy, as opposed to something that is so, right, where the idea of the relationship is so, I keep using the word sexy, it's so tempting, it's so, so big and grand, that you find yourself, you know, leaving other things behind. So an interesting reading. I'm going to delve right into your general because I feel like some of these energies are going to come out during this general as well. So let's see here. Top one there, okay. Okay, well, we got the Seven of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles again. Your energy here again, and the energy of a knight. Let me see here how we kind of can put this together, because the Eight of Swords in the reverse position, we have 3 eights, okay? Eight of Swords in reverse is actually a lovely card because you're allowing yourself to remove barriers, the mental barriers, all right? And this can apply, I'm seeing it happening more in terms of just personal development, right? Nothing so, even lifestyle related, nothing so work heavy or even family heavy, more about your evolution as a person. And removing this blindfold and starting to remove these mental barriers allows for positive change to occur in your life. And there may have been some sense or some essence of feeling of hurt and sorrow, but I think this is an indication that you're getting over it, right? I like this Three of Swords in this deck because there's an actual person here. In the right side position, it's like the swords are coming and bearing down on this man. But in reverse, it's like he's more in control. He's on top. He has pinned down or knocked out the sorrow and the sadness, right? Like it is healing. The swords are falling out. They are no longer going to afflict you and cause you to play the victim. You are in control of your life. And even though this can be a slow process, and I am seeing elements, hesitations in terms of moving away from something, moving away from someone, some place that you live, some member of your circle that you love very, very much, it's almost like you're leaving everything behind, or you feel like you have to leave everything behind in order to just totally be a different person, just totally be in a different place. I think going from a king to a knight and now you're here as a page. There's some digression there. I don't think that it's, like one step forward, two steps back or anything. I just feel like in terms of you and your life, you might be feeling a little bit lost. You might be feeling a little bit confused. You might be trying to power through some healing phase, some healing process. You might be trying to push through or even run away from something. And I don't think there's really anything you can do, right? This is just a process that needs to happen naturally. And no matter what you say, no matter what you think, it's still a part of you. It's still affecting you. And the only way you're going to know when it's done is when you look back and say, oh, wow, that really affected me. You're not going to have this aha moment that all of a sudden everything is gone. The hurt is gone. The confusion is gone. The things that you weren't able to see that were blocking you are gone. They're not recognizable. You don't know what these questions are, what these questions, these doubts, these fears, these things that are hindering you. You can't see them. You don't recognize them. So how can you run away from them or power through them if you don't know what they are? I am seeing like really swift energies though. 8 of Wands and the Knight of Swords. There might be someone in your life, maybe an air sign, could be a friend, family member, a partner, that might be getting frustrated with you a little bit. That they are requesting that you change, that they are maybe in a more demanding fashion. They're trying to push you. Pushing someone never works. And I don't think you're going to be pushed into anything. You're not going to be pushed into change or pushed into any decision making, right? You need to do things on your timetable. And I think the pressure from someone is maybe someone that you love and care about very deeply, and I don't think you want to hurt them in any way. But I do feel like maybe there is going to be some sense of like having to let them down or having to dissuade them in some way. In order to just allow yourself to heal, allow yourself to get through something. And, I feel like you are kind of waiting, and this kind of goes hand in hand with that Judgment reverse. You're kind of waiting for something to come in, waiting for an opportunity, waiting for an offer, waiting for some news of something. And I'm sorry for being so vague, but I mean, there could be so many meanings to what this means for you, for so many people, right? And waiting for that moment when you feel comfortable to make that next step forward, right? You are here looking out over the horizon across the incredibly calm sea in this card here, incredibly calm and still water. And even like projecting out, right? And projecting and requesting, almost like you're requesting that something comes to you. And I kind of feel like you have, you have your hand on your wand, you have your hand on your wand. There is one thing on your mind, I feel. Oops. Thought I was going to burn myself on the candle. There is one thing I think that you're hanging on to, one idea that you find attractive, something that you want or that you're wanting to come into your life. It doesn't mean you won't accept or you won't take other opportunities, but there is something that you are hanging on to, okay? And neither good or bad, I just think that you are patient enough in this month, okay? You're patient enough to allow things to just happen, allowing things to just come to you. This person I don't feel like has a very strong influence on you. I think they do, but in reality, they might just be afraid and not patient enough to wait for you to deal with the things that you're dealing with. okay? And they may even disappear in some way. There may be some disappearance. It could be, Aries, I'm sorry, no, not Aries, an air sign, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, can be notorious for leaving and coming back into your life. And if they leave, maybe you know that they'll just come back, or maybe it's time for you to leave that situation, that relationship behind, and allow yourself to just bring things in, allow things to come to you. Communications, messages, offerings, opportunities. This can also be an opportunity for travel. Both of these can indicate travel. So maybe some of you are planning some form of a trip. Water is here, coming somewhere across water or near water. And maybe even a trip is maybe something that you need. Maybe it's something that will help you sort out your mind and help you define and clarify what these blockages really are for you. Again, with the changing, okay, the options that you've had in your life, I don't see having a really significant hold over you. Like you're at a place in your life where you are willing and ready to let those things go. Okay, interesting that we have, 8 wands here, yet 1 wand is very much in your grips. 8 minus 1 gives you 7. So 7 other options that you are letting fall by the wayside, yet you are maintaining a choice and waiting for the opportunity for that choice to come to fruition. Okay, and I see success, right? 10 of Pentacles in any scenario is a beautiful card to get. Success, love, happiness, overall joy, building foundations, building tradition, building, a legacy is the word that I use for this card. Finding a place where you actually have something real and opening your heart and letting other people in. Okay, letting other people in. So there is a beauty amongst you, a Queen of Wands. Now, I'm going to kind of start with this Six of Swords, I'm sorry, because we have all the swords right in a row here. And I do feel that you are leaving some rough waters. Whatever these 2 swords here represent, that there is moving into peaceful quarters, a more peaceful place. And there could be an offering coming your way, something maybe unexpected, maybe something that you didn't know before, coming from an unexpected person, maybe someone that you haven't had contact with in a while, someone that you haven't thought about in a while, maybe even someone that you've left behind in the past, okay? And it doesn't need to be an offering of love, okay? This is a general reading, so it could really be anything. Outreach of friendship, a simple hello, something that maybe solidifies your choice in moving away or allowing someone to leave your life, allowing someone to not have control over your life or not allowing them to push you when you couldn't be pushed. I do feel like this whole situation, this whole month is going to be one big learning experience, okay? A lot of the signs this month don't have big dramatic energies. They are more sustaining, more maintenance quality energies. And I feel like we're always changing, we're always going through things. There's always good things and bad, but you are growing, you are transforming, and I think now you're like being promoted almost up to the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands. And even if you may have felt vulnerable, you may have felt small or confused or lost, okay, a little lost and confused. I think you embrace it very well, allowing things to unfold naturally and organically. You are going to invite a lot of positivity into your life. And I think you might be headed into a phase of your life that is very uncharted, somewhere that you've never been before, that you haven't experienced in the past. You are changing into a person that I think you are going to really like. Okay, you're going to like yourself, which is good. And you are going to take on a whole new energy, a whole new spirit. And it's almost as though you've conquered something. Like I said, there's this man above the swords. Okay, he is now in control. You have conquered something. You have conquered a broken heart. You have conquered some sorrow. And you have conquered some darkness in your life, some things that have been blocking you from something. Okay? Blocking you from good things happening. Okay. Well, I think that's it for you, Sagittarius. An interesting month. I wish you nothing but the best. It might sound a little bit challenging, but ultimately it's a very mild reading. Like I said, nothing so dramatic. So very, very good luck. All my best to you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again next month. Bye.